Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years In, Volume 2, Part 14. On my crackhead update, I only seen 3 this morning. They were walking, having a hell of a conversation with themselves, headed down Corinth. I don't know where the hell they're going, but no interaction with the crackheads. Alright, get your shanks ready. We may have to ride at a moment's notice. Let's ride, y'all. On local Dallas news, on July the 25th, 2020 at approximately 10:30 a.m., Dallas police responded to a health and welfare check in the 4900 block of Terry Street. That's in Old East Dallas. Upon arrival, the victim, Irish Harrison, a 71-year-old black female, was found inside the residence unresponsive. Dallas Fire and Rescue responded to the scene and pronounced the victim deceased. The victim also was sexually assaulted. The victim's grandson, Michael Robinson, a 32-year-old black male, was at the location when police arrived. He was transported to Dallas Police Headquarters, where he was interviewed by a detective with the homicide unit. Robinson admitted killing the victim and was transported to the Lew Sterrett Justice Center jail and charged with capital murder. Bond was set at $1 million. I noticed they said he admitted to killing the lady, killing his grandmother, but he didn't admit to the sexual assault. Strange thing happening in the world today. Could the grandmother been having sex with the grandson? Cause she was gonna put him out of the house, and he was living with her, and he killed her. But he had sex with her before he killed her. And we'll never know the truth in this issue. But still, the lady shouldn't have lost her life regardless. He killed her with a fire extinguisher. I'm gonna touch on a guy who was my sale partner for a couple months at the Mark Stiles unit located in Beaumont, Texas. His name is Leander Floyd Jr. Here's a brief synopsis of his case. On April the 20th, 1991, police officer Doug Goebel succumbed to gunshot wounds received 2 days earlier when he was shot and killed while eating in a restaurant. The subject who shot him had just had an argument with his girlfriend in the parking lot and walked into the restaurant, entered the bathroom, and as he was exiting the restaurant, he shot Officer Goebel in the head. The suspect then shot and killed his girlfriend. The man was apprehended and sentenced to 2 life sentences. He's been locked up 29 years now. And this guy came to prison. He could not read and write. But he graduated from the University of Houston, taught himself how to learn how to read and write, passed the GED, enrolled in college, and obtained a bachelor's degree from U of H. And that was a hell of an achievement. I should try to tell him when me and him were sale partners, he actually believed that he would be released on his first parole. I tried to tell him, hey, cop killers do not make no first parole. You got 2 life sentences. They're not stacked, they ran concurrent, but still there's 2 murders. And one of them is a police officer. Parole is not in the cards for you. Yeah, he's 61 years old now. He caught the case when he was 32 years old. Now that's a hell of an achievement. A man is fucking illiterate, and he graduated from college with honors. Not the highest honor, but cum laude, that's better than nothing. That means he had at least a 3.0 grade average. You know, from coming from a man who's illiterate. You know, and also he never had prison disciplinary. Never have he had a disciplinary case. He don't get disciplinary. So they go to show you clean records and all that shit. It play a certain role in getting you released from prison, but it's the crime, the nature and seriousness of the offense that they mainly look at. And plus, it's an online petition to keep this guy in prison. I just found it. 399 people in San Antonio signed this petition. Plus, the Barrow County Police Association signed a petition for this guy never to be released from prison. Now, the same thing was happening in my case. I had Dallas County Sheriff Department objecting, protesting all my paroles. And plus, the guy's family, one of them, he was a police captain. He would protest my release, said that I was continuing threat to society, even though I made parole 3 times. I've been all the way to the Walls unit in Huntsville, where they released from, dressed in free world clothes, ready to go. Protest came. They sent my ass back to my unit. And I did that 3 times. Well, the other 2 times, I didn't ever go to the Walls. I received it in the mail. It always says, additional information received. That is a protest. And back during the day, anybody could protest your parole. Now they've streamlined it where it can only be the trial officials and the close relatives. Back in the day, anyone could protest your parole. That was a trick that we played on the inmate guards. I would get his name and number, give it to my mother. She'll write the parole board and say, hey, do not release this guy. He's a continuing threat to society. And these fuckers wouldn't be making parole. They honor that. They don't even verify the source of the information. They just would deny you parole. So you only a number to them. You don't mean nothing. And like one parole officer, he was honest with me. He told me, say, hey man, we play a numbers game. He said, unless you're a mass murderer, a mass rapist, or a cop killer, your chance of making parole is just as good as anyone else because it's a numbers game. He said, we got to let so many out so we can bring so many in. If your case come up in the right number, you're making parole. But under those 3 guidelines of cop killer, mass rapist, mass murderer, ain't nothing happening. And under this parole system they got now, you basically dead in the water. You get one of those cases, you basically gonna die in prison. You're not gonna be released. You might be come up for parole 40 times. You never gonna make it. You know, contrary to what people believe, if you ever took a criminal justice course or a criminal law course, they teach you that during the course of incarceration, an inmate should at least spend 1 term in administrative segregation. If he does not do so, that means he's institutionalized. Now, you talk to an inmate, he'll think, oh, I got to be a clean, good record. I got to have this clean record so the parole board will look at how I've changed. That don't show you changed. Like one parole officer told me, that just showed me you might just be a fucking coward. That's why you ain't got disciplinary. He said, you mean we got this big, thick-ass rule book? Then they got other rules posted on the board that's not even in the rule book. And you beat all these fucking rules with 2 shifts of guard. They used to have 3 shifts. Now they work 12-hour shifts. You beat all these cell searches and all these shakedowns you got to go through, all these pat downs. That means you're a slick son of a gun. So they are taught to expect the inmate to get in trouble. If you take a tiger from India and bring him over here to Dallas, put him in the Dallas Zoo, leave that cage open, that tiger finna get the hell out of that zoo. His natural instincts tell him, hey, I'm not supposed to be in this fucking zoo. I'm not supposed to be in a cage. And he don't know shit about Dallas, but he coming out of that fucking cage. Leave that door open, see don't he come out. So naturally, a human's DNA is not wired to be confined. And things gonna get bad in the immediate future because they giving out all these guys life without parole, and the guys who got big sentences for violent crime, they not gonna be making parole. And something gonna go off in these guys' head. Hey man, we gotta have a mass escape, but this ain't gonna work. That's the only way. It's limited on the methods that they can get released on. It's very limited. Like some prison units don't allow guys with life without parole. They don't allow them to work outside the fence, even with the gun. They still don't allow them to go out. They know really this man has nothing to lose. What the hell he got to lose? In some situations, those guys pled guilty for that life without parole. Or he done lost all his appeals. And now they got a statute. You can't wait 20 years and file on your case no more. You can get an outside organization to do it. The Innocent Project can do it, but you can't do it yourself. They're going to say you time barred from filing your application writ of habeas corpus under the ADEPA. You ain't going to be able to do it. Even if you find a reversible error in your case, of constitutional dimension, you got to get an outside agency to file that petition for you. A church can do it. But how many people in a church that's going to help a convicted felon? You ain't got no money, you make no contribution to that church assembly. They not going to do shit to help you. They just talk a good game. They steady fleecing the flock. That's the order for the day. Fleecing the flock. I had a minister tell me, now this is a white minister, he got a bar inside of his office. He got all type of scotch, brandy, whiskey, and I was sitting there talking to him. He offered me a drink. I said no, so I drank the Sprite. And he told me, he said, hey man, we do not want poor people at our church. He said, you see all these different activities we got going on? All these activities cost us a lot of money. This daycare, this school, this stuff costs money. He said, we need people with money. He said, we sympathize with broke people. He said, but we have no use for them in our church. And why he was trying to recruit me, because I got a doctorate degree and a potential to make some money. I can make a contribution to the church, even just giving lectures or speaking to youth classes. He saw where he could use me. He told me that also. You'll be a valuable tool to this church with your life experiences, with your past, with your background. All right, enough ranting and raving. I got to get this uploaded. Keep your motherfucking shanks ready, because we may have to ride at a moment's notice. Shout out to Claude Lee. We're going to keep this damn D-Town boogie alive and kicking, buddy. Y'all like and subscribe, and have a nice day. Thank you.